Hello, everybody. Welcome to Ben's Brick Designs. I'm Ben. Thanks for being here. Don't forget to be unwired. Yes. Thank you, Johnny. I appreciate that. I will not make that mistake again because I was so. I'll tell the story while we build, and I'll get to that in a second. The beer of the night is again Belhaven Brewery Scottish Ale, rich, nutty, and smooth, much like myself. Hello, everyone. So we got James, we've got Johnny, we've got Missy, we've got Kodiak, we've got Mayo, we got Vab, we've got Greg. You're almost out of Oklahoma. I'm really glad that you're almost out of Oklahoma. Texas's big game, Big 12 game this weekend against OSU for those who celebrate. Anyway, let's get into the build. While we talk about other stuff, we are continuing the build tonight with the Tranquil Garden. Everybody, your moment of Zen. Your moment of Ben. Okay. So we did the pagoda last week. The pagoda separates fairly easily because it's just attached by those two studs in there. And it's a nice little tea set in there, tea ceremony tea set. And some slippers, some house shoes there in the front. And then this attaches pretty easily. I think it came off really easily. All right, so there we go. And then we've got this going on. What's up, Matt? Good to see you. Got some koi fish in there in the koi river pond thing with some flowers. And I'm assuming this is going to be a bridge right here. We got some attachments. So, hello and welcome. Thanks for being here. And we will get started on bag 6. So, I am... Or bag 7. Did we already do bag 6? Yes, we did. So, bag 7. If you've been paying attention to the past little while, you would have known cranberry ginger ale with a little vodka. That sounds delicious. That's like a East Coast mule. Is that a Boston mule? Is that a Maine mule instead of a Moscow mule? With the cranberry sauce. Moscow mules are some of my favorite drinks. Just ginger beer, little vodka, little lime juice. Got to get them copper cups with it. If you're at Oklahoma High School junior, beware of Mr. Giddy. I mean, I love putting cranberry juice in most things. My favorite order from Sonic is a cranberry limeade easy ice. You got to tell them easy ice so you get more juice and not as much ice. Because having too much ice is terrible. So this is going to be now we're going to put the perimeter on this thing in bag 7. Let's see what else is going on. So we're getting new flooring next week. And so I'm in the process of moving absolutely everything I own. It feels like we've just moved in because everything is in boxes in the garage. Not everything. The Lego room is going to remain untouched. Thank goodness. And it's just the areas that have carpet. And it's just the things that have stuff on a surface. So a bookshelf, a table. The chairs are fine. They can stay where they are. What happens is they'll come in and they'll move all the stuff out of one room and do that one room. And then they're able to use that one room to put other furniture in. So I have to have at least some space for them to put some stuff in a room. So that's going to be the kitchen. And the breakfast nook is big enough they can put some furniture in to start. And I told them as long as the weather's nice, you can put stuff outside too. So, but anyway, that required me to move everything off the big den TV room entertainment center. And in the process, I pulled the cable out of the modem and the little clip. I have a 40 foot network cable, Ethernet cable. Never eaten a cranberry. I mean, I've never eaten yeah, I have. I've eaten a raw cranberry. A 40-foot network cable that I string from that room, the TV room, into here, so I can be on hardwire instead of Wi-Fi, because the Wi-Fi is not great out here, and you don't want to stream on Wi-Fi. It's terrible. Oh, I just put the rest on. Okay. So yeah, so I taped. So now I have one end of the network cable doesn't have that clip in it, so you can put it in, but it doesn't clip in. It just kind of sits in there, and it pushes out rather easily after that. Just kind of goes in and then kind of goes and just kind of fudges its way out. So I put that one in the modem because I moved this end between this computer and my work computer, so I can be wired on either. But I think I may just stick to wireless on my work computer because I don't need it for anything but like Teams and stuff. When I do remote desktop, that requires a little more oomph. But anyway, so I broke it. So now it is taped. It's plugged in, and then I used some electrical tape and sort of braced it against the modem. And I'm going to order a new cable. Ideally, what I want to do is get it wired to this wall back here so I can just use like a little 5-foot cable and just have it permanently wired. Yeah, RDP, like I use RDP to get into my desktop, and then I use a different app to do RDP to all of our servers, all the VMs for our servers. But we do have another tool through our service called Ninja, and it's got a remote tool that allows us to get into users' desktops, but we can also like remote into their systems without, or we can get to their systems without like RDP. And then for most people, that's just for a handful of us techs. For most people, we just use a VPN, and then they have a checked out laptop with a VPN on it so they can connect to our system. But that also causes problems. There's some of the software that we use that doesn't really work well with VPN for some reason. And when we tell the developers, they're like, yeah, we were told that VPN doesn't work well with that system. And I'm like, so what do I do? And they're like, we don't do it. Don't use it. All right, cool. Well, thanks for absolutely nothing. Anyway, so I know the whole story is I know I'm hardwired because I worked very hard on making sure that was the case today. So Sunday morning, oh wait, today's Thursday. Sunday morning, I don't know if I'll be streaming. That's a fun beer. I like it. It's almost got a wine flavor to it. It's almost like a barley wine, maybe. It's just a Scottish ale. Sunday morning may not be here. We have a wedding Wednesday. I may be here. We haven't decided yet. Wednesday or a wedding Saturday, starting at 4 in Houston, so driving distance. And it's not actually in Houston; it's in a town short of Houston. So it's only like 2 hours, 2.5 hours. But it says it goes from 4 to midnight, and I'm like, I am not going to any place for 8 hours. I love my family. This is my ex's niece that's getting married. So it was my niece too, niece-in-law, I guess. But they still consider me an uncle, so I'm still going. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to stay till midnight, because then we've got to figure out where to board the dogs and stay the night in a hotel somewhere. And I'm like, why don't we just leave after the wedding and get home at 2 in the morning? Or don't stay till midnight. You know, I'm in my 50s now. Let's leave at like 9 p.m. or something. So we'll see. Anyway, if we end up staying the night, I probably won't be streaming Sunday morning. But if we do come home, I will be here Sunday morning. And by then all I'd be doing is some design work anyway, so it's not like anything major is going to happen. Hopefully you feel tranquility. You feel the zen, feel the music, the dulcet tones of the voice, my horribly nasally voice. Speaking of Tranquil sets coming in, the pre-ordered tiny plants, little plants, whatever they're called, should be coming in soon. Release date is tomorrow. So if you go to the store, it should be there. I know some people already have it. Some of the fan media people already have it, but also I think people have seen them popping up in places. So as soon as I get that, we'll do a stream for that. Which means if I get it before Sunday, maybe we'll do it Sunday. Let's see. So yeah, some release stuff coming out tomorrow. I don't think there's anything major other than the plants. What else is coming out tomorrow? Speed Champions? Is there some Speed Champions? All right, bag 8. This might be quick. So I'm going to keep checking my phone for something. I'm trying a new way to... Yes. Trying a new way to disseminate our holiday lug. Holiday loot. James, if you're still watching, everybody gets an email that says, hey, you've participated. You've come to this many meetings. Here's a Google Doc. Go through it and pick something. And then I'll put your name on it, and that's what I'll be bringing. Instead of just packing up random 50 boxes and hope that somebody wants one of these, you know, kind of thing. So, all right, cool. Cool, Matt. Thanks. Yeah, so hopefully before Friday of next week, I will have gone through like the top group of people. So we'll see. And then I'll bring a handful. I say this, and then I'll bring a handful of like smaller stuff for the people who like didn't get an email and they're like, well, but I went to a meeting and I went to that one meeting in October. Well, there you go. There's two little stunt bikes for you, or there's an Olaf. All right. So we want 2 of these. Oh, thanks, Missy. It actually wasn't my idea. I went and had lunch with Will and Justin today, Brady Joyner, and we kind of compare notes as the Will is our ambassador for Brick Rodeo for our AFAL networking event, Brick Rodeo. Justin is a member of our lug, but also his own fan media group on his Instagram. And then I'm the ambassador for our lug. So the 3 of us kind of thought it'd be fun to get together. This was a while ago, and just have lunch and chat about stuff. And so we've kept it up. And today was went to a Vietnamese place and got some lunch and just chatted. It's also to kind of bounce some ideas off of like what we see on the LAN, talk about like how it affects us, because we're from 3 different aspects of a group that is represented by a person. So it's kind of interesting to hear the viewpoints and like maybe use them for our group or use, figure out what's important for everybody. It's great. So we got to talk about a lot of stuff, but that was Will's idea. He's like, you should do this. And I'm like, I don't mean to down my lug or anything, but I'm worried that I won't hear back from a lot of people. Like, there is a general feeling that there's a lot of unresponsiveness from the lug, and that's fine. Some people don't live online every day like I do. So I'm hopeful that they will at least check their email for that first thing that says, keep an eye on your email for the next few days, please. Because I am going to be emailing you. And of the 43 people who qualify, not 43 people are going to be at the party. And there's people who qualify, and I say qualified, they've just been to a lot of meetings. But I think there's a lot of people who may not be at the party. They have something else going on that week or that weekend. So I think it'll all work out. I think it'll be good. We shall see. Yeah, I mean, and if, like I said, like if Bart's on the list now, so he's going to get back to me before 10. Frankie already got back to me. And I think Lori's after that. All these people, like if you aren't in our lug, you don't know, but there's like 4 people from our lug in the chat. So, but if like I don't get more than maybe 5 or 6 by next week, and I keep like going down the list and being like, all right, well, you missed your chance. I had to go to the next person. And if I get all the way through the list and get like just a handful of responses, I'll be like, all right, well, these first 3 got theirs, and I guess I'll just bring stuff for the rest of y'all, but we'll see. Or maybe I don't bring anything and just say, hey, you won this. Come over to, here's my address. Come pick it up. How far will you drive? Because I'm kind of on the north side of where our group is. Not very north. Like I know James is a little farther northwest of me. I don't know where Matt is. Missy's kind of straight west of me. So I mean, it's not that far. Austin and Austin suburbs isn't that big. Yeah, I think Pflugerville is pretty central. We got some people in Round Rock. I know like Josh is about 20 minutes north of me, like extreme other end of Round Rock. Frankie lives like right next to me. Geographically speaking. So there we go. Now, if you're really retentive about it, you can go back through and take some of those fingerprints off. But because I may not do this till after, but if you're going to be handling it later, yeah, you're over by the Apple campus, so that's North Austin. North Austin used to be like 183 and Lamar. That was North Austin. And then there was like a gap. And then it was like, well, there's a couple Whataburgers and gas stations before you get to Pflugerville. And then Pflugerville was literally like this little blurb next to 35, and it went out in a farm country. And then there was Round Rock. But now Pflugerville is just like blowing up all over the place. So is Round Rock. All right, flipping this over. Doesn't matter. So yeah, so hopefully it'll be a good process and everybody gets something. I don't want to short anybody anything or deny anybody anything. I think everybody deserves to get a good set. Good bit of thanks for being part of the group. So we'll see how that goes. I also don't think anybody else is going to be buying any of these space, because I still have 3 space sets over here. I don't think anybody's going to want one because I've pushed it like 3 or 4 times for the Mars base. And that's fine with me. I've already bought them. They're mine. I'm just going to make a bigger space base. I just have to get more Mills plates. This is 3 up and 1.5 over. Is that right? Same over here. 3 up, 1.5 over. Good. All right, so that's a little more stable. Okay. Oh, still. Oh, this is interesting. So here's your. I have not seen this piece before. So it's a round plate, and then underneath is a wheel. And you put this tire on. This looks like specifically to make stands like this. So you put a tire on it, and then you have a bunch of these, and then it doesn't slide, would be my guess. Yeah, these are rad. If you're looking to make a stand out of something, these are perfect. Yeah, that's the idea. Like, I wanted to give everybody the opportunity to buy them because they're the ones with the domes in them. And I was like, well, if you want dome pieces, you could buy these. And like nobody wanted them, so now I have basically 4 of these that I can turn into a bigger base. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, instead of using the tubes, I think what I'm going to do is I have the one regular base. Although I may just take that regular base and just ramp it up. Just put a bunch of towers, and every so often on the tower have another dome section. And just like build it out of the center and just like dome all the way up. So it's just this big stack of domes. And then still have the drill rig, I think. I still want to do that. So it'll be a 1, 2, 3, like a 5 dome high thing. $10 spinner packs. Wow. Awesome. They're perfect. They started using tires as non-slip things. I think the Globe used them. There was a couple in the Globe. I think Optimus Prime used them on his feet to keep from sliding. I don't think Voltron did. Yeah, Voltron did. See the tires under the feet to keep it from sliding? So I don't know how often that's been used, but it's been used. The AT-AT does too, yeah. Yeah, that's nice. That keeps it very stable. That's very cool. It's a little wiggly, but I mean, it doesn't move. All right. Bag of 9. And this one's got an overhead view. So this is going to be a lot of fiddly stuff. And we've only got 2 bags after this. Oh, that was the music. I was like, what is that noise? I don't like this. Just like... we were listening to some music before I got on stream because Beth is doing some music therapy with the groups that she's in. She's loving her new job, by the way. Finally found a job that she's really enjoying and she's really good at. And she like looks forward to going every time. So that's really awesome. But she's doing part of it is like they'll do music therapy. It's not music therapy, but it's a music section of their therapy. And so we went through and she wants like 6 different instrumental songs that don't have any words in them, so it's not like predisposing you to think of something. But it is like what do you think of when you hear this? So she was like, what about this? And what about this? And so we're talking about like instrumental music. And I was like, what about some jazz? Or what about these soundtracks from these movies? So we came up with a bunch of really good, 2 of those, bunch of good pieces for that. And then during the course of it, I was like, oh, look up this song. 12. Count these out real quick. Now I'm a big Genesis fan. And I think I have had at least, I would say 80% of their albums, like including Phil Collins. Genesis, I think only had, I think they only had like 6 albums, maybe 5 pre-Genesis or pre-Phil Collins becoming the lead singer in Genesis. Because I think after that they only had 2 albums. But I can't remember what the second one is. And then Phil Collins went solo. But so we're listening to this one song. I'm like, look up The Brazilian. It's off of Invisible Touch. And so we looked it up. And she's like, what is this? I'm like, well, it's prog rock. You know, it's instrumental prog rock. And she's like, Genesis is prog rock? And I'm like, oh, yeah. Like, I know Phil Collins went kind of pop. And he's done, like, movies and stuff. But original Genesis with Peter Gabriel is weird. And I'm not a huge prog rock fan, but I do like me some old Genesis. So we're putting in flowers and a walking path here. Still playing Diablo 4. I don't exactly know how far. I'm in Act 2. I don't know what that means, really. It looks like there's only 3 acts to the story part, and then after that you kind of transition into the online part of the game, which I don't necessarily know that I'm going to play a whole lot of. I'm just not a huge online person, but maybe. Let's see. That one, that, and then that. Yeah, it goes over that one. Okay, cool. Is there a cow level? To Diablo? I don't know what cow level means. I feel like I'm missing a joke. Apologies if I'm being dense about something. Oh, yeah. So I've never played any of the Diablos before this, but I kind of ran out of games to play and I heard really good things about this. So I was like, well, I'll give it a shot. It's kind of not my style of game, but I'm still going to try it out. And I can see, first of all, I can see me wasting a lot of time on this. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't know if I want to spend a lot of time on this. That goes up 1. Diablo 2 was, and this still is the best. Fair enough. Oh, oh, you know what? I've seen a video about that. Yeah, I think I had to look that up for something, and I remember that. That vague weirdness. But yeah, it's not bad. I'm having fun. Have any of you played it yet? Anybody playing it yet? I want to ask like a general question about it because I'm not the most I've ever gone into. I've played other like first person or third person role playing games, like let's say Dragon Age, right? Where there's not really a grind, but you get loot, you level up your stuff, you can upgrade your gear, you can upgrade your magic, you can upgrade your slots, you can upgrade your character, all that kind of stuff. But not 4. Okay. It might track, like it may be the same sort of formula for it. So I'm just gonna go with that. But what I found is that, and all I'm doing is going through and playing the story as it's presented to me, right? I'm occasionally doing a side quest. I'm not doing like all the side quests at once. I see a little exclamation point in a town, and I'm like, okay, I'll get back to you later. I don't think it's that important that I do all of them, but I've done a couple. Apparently, none of them, I've asked a couple other people, and they're like, none of the side quests are like important to the story, really. They kind of add color, but they don't progress. That's why they're side quests, but they don't like, if you don't finish the side quest, it's not like going to restrict you from anything. And if you don't do them, you're still going to level up just fine by doing everything else. Yes, Johnny, I know you play Ark and you love that game. I'm still unsure if I want to play that game, but I know you've talked about it quite a bit. And somebody else plays it too? Is it UR or is it somebody else we know? So anyway, my question really is, I feel, well, maybe it's just more of a statement. I feel like, you're like what? I feel like you're watching Thursday Night Football. Who's playing? So I feel like while I'm walking around, just going from place to place, because I don't fast travel too much. I tend to walk around. I feel like that's a great way to kind of level up and grind and get some stuff. And generally, the stuff on the surface isn't as difficult as the stuff in the dungeons. So you can kind of blow through without really losing health or anything. All right, so that took a lot. All right, we're going to do another side over here. This bag will take a while. That's fine. But what I found is the gear that I get, I don't seem to have a whole lot of time to upgrade it or take it to the blacksmith to get it to, like, you can upgrade it, you can put gems in it. You can do some different things to different, you can add aspects. I haven't even figured out what the aspects are yet. Glasses like instantly just got smudged, like right after I cleaned them. And then there's, so you pick up weapons along the way. You defeat somebody, they drop something. You open up a treasure chest, it's got something. But I feel like I'm not getting, I feel like I'm constantly doing that. Like I don't have a weapon for very long before I find a better one, right? Like all I do is I collect a bunch of stuff, and you got to limit it into inventory, and then I just cycle through all my stuff and look for green numbers and go, that's better, that's better, that's better, that's better. Unless I get like, there's ones that are like colored orange, and those are like the legendary ones. So I'll keep that kind of no matter what, because it usually has a function in it that helps. Even though its power is not great, it's got like these ancillary bits that work really well. Like one of them I got right now, it throws up a barrier when you get below like 80% health. And I'm like, well, who wouldn't want that? But I feel like I'm constantly recycling, getting new weapons before I have a chance to upgrade them all. Like I haven't fully upgraded a weapon since I got the game. Now I haven't spent a ton of time on the game, but is that kind of like the MO of the game, is like, you're just always looking for the next best weapon or next best piece of armor or helmet or something? Okay. Well, yeah. Since I haven't played this at all ever, the only thing I have to compare it to would be like other inventory management games. Death Stranding was an inventory management game. Red Dead was one. Dragon Age, kind of. And those are all like potions and things where you can craft potion. I mean, Horizon Zero Dawn had some of that, but I feel like its weapon and outfit stuff was not as, like, it took you a long time to find a new weapon, right? And once you got a really good weapon, you were kind of OP against everything. Whereas this is just like, you're constantly up, everything's upgrading with you. So like, you're level 21 now. All the monsters are level 21. You're level 38 now. All the monsters are level 38. So it really doesn't matter. But I do feel like I'm not really getting, and it's different types of weapons too. So I'm a druid. So I've got two-handed weapons. I haven't had a one-handed weapon in a while. Like I think I could use a short sword and a totem. But I've been sticking with like these giant two-handed axes or these big staves or hammers or something. And it's just like, kill a bunch of guys, drop this, okay. Go into a dungeon, found this. Like every time, like every encounter, there's a new thing. And I feel like half the time I don't even get out of a dungeon before my inventory's full, and I'm dropping stuff everywhere. I'm not even picking things up. And it's not frustrating, but it's kind of like I just feel like you're just surfing this avalanche of loot constantly. Um, and it's cool. The other thing that I have to get used to is like I can be completely surrounded by guys who are attacking me and I'm taking no damage, but it looks terrifying. And like I'm this big and the creatures are this big and they take a swing and my health goes blurp, like it barely moves. And I'm like, huh. But because I'm like surrounded, I'm freaking out. I'm like, get out of the way. So yeah, kind of a new experience, new gameplay experience for me. Not saying it's bad, just a new experience. And there's a lot to the game I don't have any idea about, like what it means. I don't like. I read it and I see the little helper window pop up, and I read it and go, "Oh, okay." And then 15 minutes later, I'm like, "What was that aspect thing again? What was this?" I don't know. I think I can consume weapons or I can salvage weapons and pull legendary weapons and gear and pull their aspects out. And I don't know what that means. The thing they do, and then I can assign it to something else. So everybody hydrate. um yeah, I've already been given a not a website where they're like, depending on the character, here's the build that you want. You can kind of figure it out on your own if you want, but if you don't want to like have to replay it, then here's the build you want for each of these characters. Um and uh yeah, I don't know if I'm going to do that or not. I really like playing a story where things unfold and suddenly something happens and it's a shocking twist and you got to beat this monster out of nowhere. I kind of like that kind of stuff. But I've played enough grindy games where I'm like, I don't know if I want to grind anything. So we'll see. I mean, I got it on sale. I got it on like Black Friday. I got it for like 40% off, which is weird because I thought it was like a brand new game, but it's more of these tabletop pieces. Don't see these a lot, but they're not uncommon. I do see them in several colors, but it's cool that there's one that's gray. This one does. I mean, I don't know if it's a minimal story or not, but it's a substantial story so far. I've played for I don't even know, 20 hours maybe? I mean, Battlefront 2 had a 20-30 hour story and I think I'm only about a third of the way through this one. You're basically trying to find the big horned lady. Her name is Lilith and she's like the angel of death or something pretty much. I think she calls herself angel of pain or hatred or something. Um so you're like tracking her down throughout the story and you're running into priests and spiritual people and like the church has something to do with it, and so all these people kind of have, and there's a lot of cutscenes on the way. I mean, it's a proper AAA game story. But I can tell that we're getting to the point where the story is going to thin out and they're going to be like, all right, have fun. Like No Man's Sky did that and I stopped playing that. Like I got to the end of the story, I'm like, oh, okay, well I see where this goes and I can grind to death and get a better ship and build up a base, but I don't really want to. It's not my bag. I don't know where this is gonna go. This perspective is confusing. But if that's the case, then I'm getting close to beating this one, which means I gotta go find another game to play. Because I've already beat Spider-Man. Oh, there we go. That's cool. That's a cool look. The steps there with those two cool table pieces. It's pretty nifty. I've heard tell that Death Stranding is going to get a sequel. That doesn't mean it's like coming out next year or anything, but I'll definitely play that. I might go back and play Red Dead 2 again. I didn't get to the grindy part of that. I didn't even finish the story part of that. I got to the town. Gray Frog on a droid head. I got to like the big city, the one that looks kind of like Louisiana. And I don't know why I stopped playing. I just stopped playing. But that was a fun game, you know. There was kind of the you had to get the legendary thing by you have to find all the skins, and you have to make sure not to shoot him with a bullet. You got to kill him with a knife or an arrow or something. In order to get a pristine skin, to get like the legendary satchel or something. Surprisingly, I didn't mind it being animated. Cool. But it still wasn't your bag, was it the story? The animation's weird because it feels like computer generated, but it's got like a very painterly, brush strokey kind of feel to it. But it also feels like a lot of the backgrounds were digitally done, were like 3D modeled. I still felt like it was a great story, like very heartfelt and stuff. But I can see it being a little like, I don't care. That's a cool layout. I'll tell you what, I'm about 3 episodes from the end of Scott Pilgrim, and I don't know that I'm going to finish it. Like, I'm 5 out of 8 episodes, and I'm kind of like, I don't care. I mean, the story shifted enough to where it wasn't the same as the movie, but it just like it doesn't. I'm kind of bored with it. I'm like, I don't know. I mean, there's only they're only 20 minutes, and there's only 3 of them. I might as well finish it. But at the same time, I'm like, I kind of don't want to. Okay. See what else is pretty good. It does. It's very heavy on the story, but the combat stuff gets up there. Um, Tomorrow's Friday, so new episodes of Monarch. Speaking of, it needs to pick up a little bit. Monarch needs to pick up pretty quick, or else I'm gonna ditch that one. But For All Mankind is still rocking. I'm still really enjoying that. I'm always thrown when I see these 1x4 slopes. Yeah, it's fine. It's a little kind of like, okay. I've always I always have this weird problem with Monarch. I forget who it is. I want to say Tomy, but like the original Godzilla stuff. How people oriented that is. I'm like, I want to see the monsters fight. Okay, this is an interesting thing. So you build this whole thing, and then you have this bracket on the side, and it just sits in here like this. So there's some rock work for you a little bit if you're into that. Yeah, how much humanity is involved, and I'm like, I don't want to see this. I want to see the monsters fighting. And then I realized if I watched monsters fighting for 2 hours, I'd be really, really bored. And like Shin Godzilla was one of my favorite movies, and that was nothing but bureaucracy. That was nothing but humans being dumb humans. Oh, is that gonna leave that one out? Oh, that's sad. What's up, Scott? How's it going? Happy Thursday to you as well. Yeah, Monarch's pretty good. I like Kurt Russell. Wyatt Russell's a little kind of dead. But I like the 3 scientists together kind of in the background or in the 50s. They're good together. I'm just kind of hoping it picks up a little bit. It doesn't seem as mystery. It seems like it's trying to be some weird mystery drama thing, and it's not. It's just not clicking for me yet. But I don't know. With Loki being over and Ahsoka being over, and so many other shows that I'm watching not on anymore. Rings of Power, Wheel of Time. That I'm like, well, I'll kind of watch anything now. Foundation's done. Silo's done. Still watching Invincible, so that's good. So, then how is everybody liking the? I know Lego Masters is still going on. Everybody watching? I hope you're all enjoying that. I haven't seen him play a stoner type. I've only seen him do the army guy for Monarch and Captain America from Falcon Winter Soldier, which he was good in. It was kind of weird, but I thought he was pretty good at like a character trying to be Captain America that wasn't really Captain America. I thought he did a pretty good job. Okay. Oh, they are spaced apart. Okay. So the instruction is to keep these slightly spaced apart. Like so. And we've got some red robot arms. Haven't seen these before. That's pretty hip. I'm always stressed over which side of the robot arm to use. The wide side or because there's two sides. There's like that side. It'll say in the instructions usually, but that side that's got the wider Y shape or this side that's just goes into that C clip. I'm like, but which side? I can't tell. Oh, and then it bends. Here we go. All right, so put it in the clips. And how do I get it to bend? I guess just because it's short. Okay, well, I'm trusting you on that. So there you go. That piece of red flex tube is going to be perpetually that shape. But this is a neat looking bridge. So what are you up to, Scott? You going through and being miserly with your pick a brick wall loot? I don't know what that means. Not like, you're not sharing it or anything, but like stacking it up and going, hee, look at what I got. That's kind of what I do sometimes. Monkey Kid have a bridge like this? That's pretty cool. It's a good way to do it too. A lot of clips. They're really banking on this bent. Oh, I've got it backwards. Oh, that whole thing comes off. Well, looky there. Well, look at you. Oh, nice. Wow, that really comes off there, doesn't it? So the clip's going upside down. Yeah, it's a little wonky to get it to be like the exact thing that they want on the picture, but it works just fine. Very satisfying. All right. shrine here. Times 5. Wow. These lanterns are shrines. Oh, it says weathered lanterns and structures add depth and ambiance to a tranquil garden and invite us to embrace the passage of time. Passing of time. Well, okay. All right, so where are my Studio Ghibli fans at? Are you gonna go see The Boy and the Heron? Because I am. I'm trying to figure out when my oldest wants to see it. I guess both kids are Ghibli fans. I would take them to see as many as I could when they were young. I think Princess Mononoke may have been a little much because it came out when they were very young. And I feel like I may have pushed that one a little bit. But because it can be a little dark in places. But they loved all. My oldest, their favorite is Howl's Moving Castle, I believe. Like everyone wants to say Spirited Away is their favorite, and that's fine. But so did we have some roll away? I got an extra tube. That's cool. Let's see. It says 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. I should only need one more. I have a bunch of. Oh, that's why. I was gonna say I have extra bulbs because I did that wrongo. I should only have one extra bulb, and I do. All right. Cool. Yeah, little lanterns. Nice little texture. Yeah, and I know people have made actual walking versions of that out of Lego. So there's that. It's super cool. I also want to see the new version. I haven't seen these pieces ever used as trees. I think I've seen one as tan as the top of a castle or as a cone, like an ice cream cone, maybe thinking of a bigger piece. What was I going to say? Bye, Scott. Thanks for dropping by. Hope you have a good week. Enjoy your hauls and making videos. Everybody go see Journal the Scots on YouTube. He does a lot of review videos, and he does a lot of kind of secondary market shopping with Mercari. So make sure to check him out. Throw some subs and some likes his way. Does a daily vlog. Does a daily thing about. That. Oh, wow! I missed a couple plants. Apparently. There we go. I am going to check my email, see if Bart has responded. He has not. So I'll get back to you before 10. It is before 10, and I'm just checking. I want to make sure everybody gets a good opportunity to get whatever they want in a timely manner. I can't really tell where these go. Right there. Good enough. Part of the music that I had Beth add to her list was the there's a You should check out this Howl's Moving Castle. Not Lego related. All right, I will. I will shortly. Thanks, James. What was I going to say? I was saying something. Oh, it's gone. If anybody can remind me what I was just talking about. I think there. Some of these look like they're going in between. They don't fit in between. I'm assuming that's where. You were saying Beth's music. Thank you. So she's picking stuff that is not, that's instrumental. That's right, because we were talking about Genesis earlier. Those trees are rad. It's a good look. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So the other one that I got her to pick, and I'm actually kind of proud of myself, is if you guys are familiar with Vince DiCola's work on Transformers the movie, I had her pick a couple of those. Like, instrumental, you say? I know this one gentleman who does lots of instrumental work, and it's all synth, 80s synth. You know, I mean, it works. It's really like he did really well in that movie. That movie is a fantastic bit of music, and he's a large part of that. So I was able to get her to add that. And there's 10 songs in the album that you could have picked from, so I just had her pick one. I was like, yeah, that sounds good. All right, so now, wow, so that's mostly done. So these are the extra parts for that bag, most notably that, which I'm going to be using that for Horizon. Some good stuff in there, good extras. This is for Vab. Vab was working on something the other day, and we were going to see if a socket wrench would fit into one of these studless, and they do. Was trying to see how the clutch was on that. All right, so this is going to sit on top of these pillars like so. So your steps go to the door like so, and they are just off. Oh, this is going to be wonky. So these are going to go in the tubes, not in between the tubes like you would expect. But if you got everything lined up, it should fit just perfectly. That looks a little off. Can't tell why it looks off, but it does. Yeah, that looks really off. The roof looks off for some reason. It wasn't completely on there very well. Looks better. Okay. So, the pillars in the water line up with the pillars in the thing. And there's... The next bags are going to be trees, but this is the basic look of your focus. Cool. Not bad. I like it. So there's the path you walk on to get to the place. Very tranquil. Bag 10. Start to make a tree. We got an hour left to do 2 bags, so this may be perfect, except trees tend to take a little bit with all the flowers and blossoms. So we'll just go till we're done. Maybe we'll crank through this pretty quickly. We'll have to find out. There's your bag of cherry blossoms. This set's going to go pretty good with the... This also may give me an excuse to do a project I wanted to do, which is take off all the leaves of my bonsai tree and put in all the cherry blossoms, all the pink frogs. But I'm still not convinced that I don't want to buy a second bonsai tree and just have one of each. I just never pulled that trigger. And bonsai tree is still out there, and some places you can get it pretty cheap. So I may look around, see if I can find one. I did see it on the site, Johnny, but it did, like, I refreshed and it was absolutely gone. So I'll keep an eye out. So we got some brown maxi ronies, which I think are pretty common now, in various colors. I think the Lord of the Rings set alone probably had like 6 or 7 of these. They had a ton. This piece I'm not as familiar with, but a dinosaur tail. Trunk. You can just call it a trunk, and it could be tree trunk, it could be elephant trunk. Is that the proper? Okay. Make sure that's the right piece. So do we have any idea what's coming out in what else is coming out in 2024 yet? I know there's been some, I want to say leaks, but I don't know if that leaks the right term. Like there's been rumors or something, but other than the ornithopter, do we have any idea of like what might be what we're expecting to come out next year? I haven't heard any UCS mentions. I haven't heard, and maybe I have and I've blocked it out, but I don't. I was on somebody else's stream, watching somebody else's stream today, and I asked the question. I'm like, "What are you looking forward to in 2024?" Just to try to get it off whatever topic they were on, and they were like, "Yeah, the ornithopter. That's about it." New Bowser car, city space. Oh, that's right. There was some city space stuff that looked cool. I forgot about that. Ooh, these in brown. That's cool. Haven't seen those yet. I have white, black, and dark gray, but I do not have brown. So that's pretty cool. Nope, had it right the first time. Feels like the first time. But the Technic space, white rubber wheels. Nice. It's going to be great. I would, you know what? I'm going to break my Technic ban, personal Technic ban, to get me some space sets. I'd be okay with white. A lot of light blue gray in the Lego world. I'm okay with not having some for a while. Part of what I liked the E-Wing and Shinhati's fighter was that it wasn't it was so colorful. That's interesting. Bloop. Just stick that in there. Kind of a dead tree. Put air tubes together to make longer ones. Do you know what those tube things are? They were part of the pneumatic Technic sets originally. Do I know what tube things? Which tube things are we talking about? From this tree or from space sets? Pneumatic hoses. The long brown piece you said only had, oh, these two L bars with shaft or with ring or something like that. Put air tubes to make longer ones. You know what else you can do? Friend of the channel and RFLM, Justin Brady Joyner, showed me this one. So you get one of these, and you get two of these guys. These newer, shorter bricks. You put them on either side. And now you've got a way. You've got a snot build technique. So that's pretty cool. You get a bunch of these together. It's not the best connection. It rotates. But like... Oh, by the way, I hit 1,000... Instagram followers the other day. So I built this little thing. This was stolen from a Lug member who had done the same thing for his channel. He didn't have the figures in it, but he did the 1,000, and I think he cribbed it from somebody. So I did this. So yeah, but you can see with the discoloration that I used that technique right there to flip it, so I could have these guys, these arches, and then the rest of it is just like these aren't really. It's not attached really well. You can see the gaps. My math is really wrong. You can see the gaps on the side. You can see kind of the gaps in the back. And then, yeah, multiple kind of gray colors. Yeah, UT Tower. So, yeah, this is fun. But it gives you the opportunity to, like, this kind of build. I don't know where I just put the thing now. This kind of thing allows you to do stuff like that. So if you wanted to do arches on either side of that, you could with something like that. They're better gravity. So this would work really well if you had something on top of it that was pushing down. And it wasn't like this where it's kind of reliant on it being a little more stable than it is. But yeah, so that's a good use of those two things. So that's fun. But yeah, these are great. I like these. These are great laser guns, blasters. Great for clips to hold on to in smaller builds. I'm running a little behind now, so I should shut up and get building. The UT Tower is getting a little decrepit. Like, not gonna lie. I put it together at Pflugerville Library, and it was I think it needs to be taken apart and cleaned a little bit. Then maybe put back together. I don't know. It's been together for like 12 years now. Maybe it's lived its life. It's currently just sitting in my my living room. I've got a great cutout in the wall for like, I don't even know what you'd put in it. It's only about this wide, and it's like, it's like chair rail level, and then it just goes up, and it's next to a fireplace. It's like you'd put a shrine in there of some kind, like maybe tall plants, or if you put some shelves in there, you could have like a shadow boxy kind of thing. Zisoo, greetings. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Yes, you got to clean your UT tower, else you get a UTI. The a gun safe. The thing was, our previous house had one too, and when we visited this house, we were walking around, and I was like, "Oh, it has one of these. We're getting this house. It has a place for the tower." And Beth's like, I'm like, "Nope, we're done talking about it." I think you'd have extra room if you turned into a gun safe. There'd be like a lot of overhead on that. So how are you, Zisu? How was your holiday? If you celebrated. Did you have a good holiday with friends and family? I can feel my voice starting to give out. I may not be long for this stream. I was sick Thursday. Let's save leftover for later. How was yours? Um, good. Mine was good. It was low key. It was full of love and laughter and very little drama, if at all. I somehow get sick over the good breaks. I do too sometimes. Like I feel like I get sick between Thanksgiving and Christmas a lot. So like during parties and party season, right? Friends and family have events going on and I suddenly catch my winter cold or whatever. So knock on wood, I don't get that this year, but we'll see. Yeah, ours was good. Went over to the ladies' house. They hosted. We went to a barbecue place here in town and got a big old. God, I keep knocking these off. A big old breast of turkey and a big old pan of mac and cheese, which I need to throw away. I've been trying to eat off it, but I haven't. And then we had, Mama Stanberg's cranberry relish, and we had a bunch of different breads and green bean casseroles and whatnot. And it was great. And then we stayed for a little bit and played a board game, which was a lot of fun by the makers of Cards Against Humanity. So, it was properly raunchy. Times 17. All right, get ready for the boring part. So we got to do this like 80 times. So I think what I'm going to try to do is separate these out a little bit. Because these are going to be extra, so I don't need those. Ugh, probably not. Why don't I just do it? So center. This is the Zen part of the show. This is the part that's going to take 20 minutes. So let's just talk. So yeah, it was good. Had the kids were in town. Try to drink some water, see if that helps. Everybody hydrate. Kids were up from school. Beth's parents were in town. They were here for a good week, 6 days, 5 days, something like that. So it was a lot of fun. I know Beth would have wanted to see her parents longer, but that's all they could swing. They had to get back to their cat and their niece. Her brother lives in Kentucky as well, and they have a child. I am going to take this opportunity to pimp Beth's brother's music. He's got a YouTube channel called Four Chords. Four Chords in the Truth? Four Strings in the Truth. Four Strings in the Truth. His name is Damon Brazel. He is recording an album currently. He got a record deal over the summer with a recording company in Kentucky. And I've heard one song, and it's very kind of surf rocky. Is that Jesus music? No. Hi, AH. How are you? Thanks for coming by. We are building the Tranquil Garden from Lego. Lego's Tranquil Garden. Lego's idea of a Tranquil Garden. No, yeah, not Damien, Damon. Um, he is way into like horror and counterculture kind of stuff. So his musical inspirations are like metal, but also Tiny Tim and Weird Al Yankovic, and really good blues guitar players, and like all over the place. But the album, I can guarantee you, is going to be very niche. But um, oh, no, it's he what he was originally going to do. He called his YouTube channel that because he was going to play music, but also talk about like current events or his views on some political stuff, and it kind of turned into just him playing. So the political stuff went kind of nowhere. But that's his YouTube channel. Um, so keep an eye out on like my community tab. I'm sure I'll post a huge thing about it when his album's available. It would be great if you ordered one. I know our family is everybody's getting one. We're gonna try to do it for Christmas, but I think he just finished recording it, and it's gonna take a while to like mix and edit and stuff like that. So, where are you coming from? Where are you hailing from? What brings you by? Are you a Lego fan? Are you a Japanese garden fan? Do you like the cherry blossoms? Do you like the gin blossoms? Do you like gin and tonic? What brings you in? My dogs are again barking at nothing. They've been so barky lately. Like a car alarm goes off 2 blocks away, and they're like, if they forget I'm in this room, like I'm up here, and if I go silent for like 30 seconds and then I start talking, they'll start barking. They're like, who's that deep voice in the front room? It's nobody we know. Yes, he does play ukulele. So he's a very, very good guitar player. He's an average singer, um, but he's a very good musician. He's very smart musically. Um, he plays just about every instrument. And his latest thing is playing ukulele. And he's actually working on teaching ukulele as well as the recording thing. So he's taken upon himself to become a ukulele person. Now, I will say the ukulele stuff is not his strongest, but that's kind of all he's got on his YouTube channel. But he's been like playing in bars and stuff forever. Was in a band for a while, then got married and had a kid, and kind of had to stop doing that. But now that the kid's older, he's able to kind of do more of that. And very, very happy that he got a record deal. So, but yeah, that's him. If you found that. This is the thing I like least about sets like this is doing the repetitive tree stuff. And I know that's not a favorable position. I know a lot of people will dig it. It's very zen and very calming. And to those people, I say, who hurt you? No, I don't. Whatever gets you through the day, man. So after this, I get to go do some work, some actual work for my office, for my job, because it's work I can't do during the day because I got to shut things down. And when people say, "How do you?" I couldn't do that. Why don't you? They expect you to work over. Like Beth asks us all the time, "Why do they expect you to do work at night?" I'm like, they don't expect me to do it. It just that's the only time to do it. So I do it then. And they're like, "But you work all day," and I was like, "Do I?" Sometimes I sneak into this room and I sort some Lego for half hour. Or maybe I get on studio and design for a couple hours. So, I mean, it all comes out in the wash. I work when it needs to be done at work. I'm as proactive as I can be with given projects, and then I put in after hours time. So I do not mind. We were having this discussion when we went to lunch today too about Teams being on your phone, because I apologized because nobody had their phones out. And then at one point I realized, oh my God, we've just been sitting here jawing this whole time. And I have no idea what time it is. I don't know if my boss is trying to reach me. I know everybody gets a lunch hour, but I also realized that a lunch hour like we were having probably went 2 hours. So I was like, I should at least check in. Like we could go hours without me or days sometimes without like really talking to anybody. Um, so I want to make sure no one's trying to get a hold of me and I am just not responsive. And so when I did that, one of the guys was like, "Yeah, I took Teams off my phone. It's like that they don't pay me enough to be reached all the time like that." I was like, "Fair enough, but I also, when I'm at home and I'm working, sometimes I'll take a break and I'll go do some Lego stuff." So I feel like if the trade-off to be able to do that is to also just be able to be reached on my phone kind of anytime, I'm okay with that. That's a trade-off I'm willing to make. And I've been doing it for almost 20 years, so I feel like that's a fine trade-off for me. That works for me. You can see all the tree bits we're doing here. That's all very fun. No, I mean, I don't, you know, every once in a while at like 9 o'clock at night, I got to reboot a server. I get done streaming tonight and I go into my office and I watch. In fact, I'll probably do it from here. I'll watch a hockey game and do some updates. I have to remote into one of the servers and just kind of run an update. And the problem with the update that I run at that point is that I have to kick everybody off this one server, and the only way to really kick everybody off is just reboot the server. Because I try to kick everybody off and so I can have the files are all closed so the update can run. And if not everybody's out, the update goes, bork, I can't do it. I'm like, well, now I just have to restart it anyway. Penguins scored their first. What? Oh, who are they playing? I literally today just watched a video about goalies scoring. And like, it's only like 6 or 7 goalies have ever scored, isn't it? That is awesome. That is really great. I can't wait to watch the replay of that. I've never seen that happen in a game. Like a game I'm watching, I've never seen it. That's one of the things. So we had Patrick Waugh as a goalie for the Avs for a very long time. And that's one of the things I think he's upset about. He never got. Like he had everything else. Like I think like gold medal, couple Stanley Cups, Conn Smythe Award. I think Conn Smythe. What's the goalie award? Vezina Trophy, I think, is the goalie one. But that's something he never had. Meanwhile, Ron Hextall had 2. So it's kind of funny. All right. Let's see if we can get all these on here without going crazy. Excuse me. All work and no play makes Homer something. Go crazy? Go mind if I do? This is always the puzzle to figure out. Okay, well, turn it this way so it fits. I should probably work my way up. That is proper cool. Scoring a goal. Scoring a goalie goal. Ooh, I could post the replay. Nah, I'll go watch it. It's going to be posted probably pretty soon. I'm going to go, when I'm done here, I'm going to go watch the Avs game. They're playing the Coyotes, which it's like, if they don't win against the Coyotes, although the Coyotes are doing pretty well right now. They're doing better than I think everybody thought they would at this point in the season. So I think everybody was expecting last season's trash pandas, and they've kind of turned everything around. A balance of elements is like the water, carefully selected plants, and the different uses of rocks helps create a tranquil environment for your garden. So saith the instructions. I mean, if you want, if you find, you've got mod power, so if you want to post something, that's your prerogative. I can't really watch it right now. And I don't know. I don't know if I watched it while I was streaming, if I get dinged or not. It's probably on NHL Network, but if you find a sports network, a Sportsnet, a Canadian one, that might be okay. Okay. Trees, at least this tree is done. We got half hour left for our last bag. And hopefully it is not a ton of other plants and trees, but we'll see. So there you go. There's some trees. Very pretty. Cherry blossoms. No frogs this time. But it's still very cool. All right, we got one last thing. Looks like a big pagoda thing. I'm not really sure what these are going to be, but we'll see. Yeah, I just realized, I don't know if this cable reaches, because I moved my office into the kitchen so they could do the flooring next week in my office. And now I don't know if that cable will reach there, so I may be stuck doing Wi-Fi, and I don't know if I can do Wi-Fi with RDP and streaming a hockey game. So I may try to do my laptop in the TV room and just watch the rest of the hockey game, but we'll see. All right, first of all, ton of these new plates, these new swoopy roof plates, and then also a ton of these dark green cool curved fern pieces. Yeah, right. Oh, I can't simultaneously remote into my work and watch a hockey game. 10 years ago it was, I'm stuck here in the office and I can't leave yet because I'd have to sit here and baby a server for it to reboot. Now this didn't say, oh, that one. I was gonna say, this didn't say like do this 4 times, so I'm not really sure what's going on. A bunch of these pieces too. I don't see enough of these. These are used a lot more for texture than they are for like the railing. Like, I don't see a pillar of these with 4 different like things sliding up and down it. Maybe one's been done. I just don't. I hadn't seen it. That was a first world problem. Having to stay at the office and reboot stuff was definitely something that impacted Beth and my relationship like really early on. And she was actually kind of worried about it. It's like our second date, third date, something like that, and we are going to meet at. I can't remember where we were going to meet originally, but we ended up meeting at Flying Saucer. And I was like, I can't be here that long. I have to get back to the office to do whatever we were doing. And back then it was, if you wanted to, we were going to do this like whole system upgrade for like our major proprietary. It's not even our proprietary, somebody else's, but we are like its biggest user. Software, which requires like a database update, which requires website updates, which require blah 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 blah. Got to log all of our terminal users off, redo their profiles, log them all back on, change all their passwords. It was a nightmare. One of these I feel is, oh, there it is. So I had to go back at like 6 o'clock and stay till like 2 in the morning or something. It was dumb. And Beth was like, she called her friend. She's like, is this, should I be worried about this? Is this normal? I told her later, I'm like, yeah, it's totally normal. So now when I have to stay for something, she's like, it's not one of those GD IMUS upgrades, is it? I'm like, nope, something else. All right, so here's that. Pretty cool. And it slots in. It just goes bloop, like so. So there's still these like 4 holes over here. These just slot into. So mix and match. Like if you wanted to move these things around, by the looks of it, you could do that. Now we do a big old tree. But yeah, that's another, like, the job is not super hard. The hardest part of the job that I have is the fact that we have to know a little, and this is kind of generalized systems administrator stuff, especially if you're a smaller company, is you have to know a lot. You have to know a little about a lot of different systems. And the instant that you learn something about that system, you're not going to, again, have to use any of that knowledge for probably 6 months to a year when it's time for that system to break again. And then by then you have to learn it all anew. So it really doesn't matter. Like there's no certification in my job. Like I could get certified in something and it wouldn't matter because I almost would never use that system again. And if I did, it wouldn't be for another like 6 months. And by then everything would have changed. So it doesn't matter if I get trained in anything. The training is just reading the documentation, using the software a bunch, getting to know it, instructing everybody else on how to use it, and then hope they don't have problems later, and just be available to kind of dumb through it with them if they need to go through it more. So that's my job. Because we've got a company of 150 people. It's not that big, but it's very tech forward. Everybody wants to be using the newest analytics tool, the newest survey tool. We have to have the newest security stuff, monitoring systems. And that requires a lot of different kind of pieces of interactive software that's all hands-on and requires its own web server and requires its own this and its own that, its own database and its own whatever. But unless we have like a big project, I don't have the downtime where I'm like constantly reading about a new project or a new product or something. I just kind of was like, all right, what do we need to use next so I can read 5 pages about it and then put it on our system. Which affords me a little free time to do Lego stuff, which I'm okay with. If that means every 2 months I got to reboot a server, I think I already said that. I'm okay with that. But enough about me. Enough about me and the entire stream. So yeah, 1,000 followers on Instagram, which was kind of cool. And I'm sure 800 of those are probably not real or wanting me to, subscribe to their OnlyFans page or are a bot of some kind. But, that's a good milestone. So kind of fun. Still going for it on YouTube as well. I think I haven't even checked my subs on YouTube lately, but I'm probably years away from getting 1,000 there. But if I do, we'll definitely do a giveaway. How's that? 1,000 subscriber giveaway on YouTube, which means I will be giving away 1,000 subscribers. Yeah, 707. I've been near 700 for like a year. I'm not getting any more. And it goes up and down. Like I'll get one new one a month or something. All right, 7. So I got 7. that the only? Yeah, okay. 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'm a little confused. Oh, it rotates. Okay. 4. But then it doesn't stay on the. I guess I just put them on that way now. I would have liked a bigger pole on that one, but it's okay. And then this is 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. Yeah, and that's all that really matters, Johnny, that you're following me. That's all I care about. I got to about 400. I was like, you know, I really need Johnny to follow me. That's what needs to happen now. Okay, so this is another tree. Guessing facing that way. Blue. Drop that one in. And now we're gonna do the last one. About 20 minutes. I've got 2 things here, so we're doing 2 more things, whatever they are. Let's see if Bart has emailed me back. He has. I was really tempted by the gaming tournament truck. You son of a bitch. But I've settled on the Statue of Liberty. Thanks for coordinating. Cool. All right. So as soon as I'm done with this, I go do that. And then I send the next person an email. I more meant that I'm trailing behind you with what? With the subs, but the other thing too. Oh, whoops. And I know why I don't get a ton of people is because I don't do videos. I don't do 10-minute videos. I don't do 5-minute videos. I just don't. Because I don't want to. I don't like, I enjoy doing the streaming, and then, you know, videos require like a level of, I feel I'm not doing Lego at that point. I'm doing YouTube. And I don't want to do YouTube. I want to do Lego. And this makes me feel like I'm just doing Lego, and that's great. As soon as I have to be like, well, I'm going to spend the afternoon editing a video, it's like, but then you're not, what are you building though? Well, I'm not building anything, but I'm editing a video. Okay. We'll have fun with that. Oh, this is going to be a do this 5 times, isn't it? Oh, I guess not. Okay. But like Clicking Cliff jumped right up to like 1,000, 2,000, something like that, like real quick. But he also does like just, and it's just him talking. It's just like, hey, I've got thoughts about this thing. This is what I'm going to talk about, and he does it. You know, and that's great. If people want to do that, that's great. That's not something I want to do. Yeah, exactly. Then I'm looking for another job. That's exactly how I feel about it. We are talking to so Justin again is our resident RLFM, which is recognized Lego fan media. So YouTubers who stream or make videos, and which means he's one of the group. Yeah, and I'm not gonna drop the names of these, but like one came on today, and it was just like I hovered over it to see what was going on, and it was literally just 6 heads. Like I could watch CNN for that. I don't need to see that. You may be talking about Lego, and that's fine, but let's see what you're building. And they do that occasionally where they'll be like, all right, so and so, well, thanks for being on. What are you building right now? But then it gets into, let's talk about Star Wars, or let's talk about, you know, the last episode of Lego Masters. And it's kind of like, okay, that's cool and all. I get it. Um, totally lost my train of thought. Damn it, Johnny. Oh, so it was. Yeah, we're talking to Justin, and speaking of it being a job, he's like, well, they send you all this stuff, and you get it after the embargo day, or you get it, and then the embargo is you can't do anything with it until date. Let's say January 1st. You can't do anything until January 1st. Then after January 1st, you have a month or 2 weeks or something like that to produce some content for it, right? Posts, reels, YouTube videos, whatever you want to do. So, but they send you, and you kind of tell them what to send and what not to send. Like, send me everything or don't send me some certain stuff. But he was like, I don't have room in my house and I don't have time to review a lot of this stuff. So like I'm doing it at the last minute. And like, what do you do? Because I didn't know. I'm like, what do you do with the sets when you're done with them? He's like, they just stay at my house. I can't do anything with them. I can't sell them. He's like, so I've ended up like contacting people who have like STEM programs in schools, and it's like, if you don't mind open sets, I can donate these to you. But a lot of people won't take open sets because they're not new, and they're, especially places with kids. A closed set, a sealed set, you kind of know it's only been with Lego. An open set, you're like, I don't know where this has been. So, so he speaking of first world problems, but at the same time, I think that's why a lot of RLFMs kind of burn out pretty quick. Like you don't see a huge amount of them lingering, especially the individual people. Big ones like um, Beyond the Break, those guys are going to be around forever. And then there's people like Jang's Bricks, who are like, I'm not a member of that. I just want to do my own thing, and I spend my own money on this, and this is not paid advertising. I just do what I like to do. Johnny and I were kidding about this the other day. You can always tell when a new set, when the embargo releases for a new set, because every YouTube channel, that's all you see, is just, here's the Gringotts Bank must have been released, or the Tiny Plants must have been released, or whatever. No, and some people want to do that, so that's why you see, hey, click on this and go to my affiliate program, or click these links and save whatever on this, and it's like, nope. And the other thing people don't like is maybe they want to get surprised by the build on their own, and watching these videos reveal a little too much about the model, and you're like, oh, I kind of wanted to build that, find that in the process of it being built, and now I can't. So there's something for everybody in it. A lot of kids like watching unboxing videos and reveal videos and stuff. So, and that's your last one, really? Oh no, okay. Haven't seen handlebars in a while. I haven't anyway. Same as being a designer for them. They don't pay anything. Yeah. Yeah, it literally is a part-time job on top of your real job. Um, and that's the last thing I want to do when I work, is come home and then be stressed. Because if I get stressed over Lego, I'm not gonna do Lego anymore. That's the easiest thing to give up. So if I get stressed over my family, I can't give my family up. But if for some reason I'm getting emails from Lego saying you're not performing this month's quota hard enough on whatever, I'd be like, nope, I'm out. Thanks. Don't care. I do this because I like doing it, and the streaming makes it really easy. It makes it super easy to just kind of like, I can do it anytime. I can just pick up and anytime I wanted, jump online. Doesn't even have to be scheduled. We're about done with 15 minutes left to go. It's giving me a lot of time to go watch some hockey. So, And I appreciate everybody who comes by and says hi and keeps me company. That's always nice. Yeah, and I do this. This is advertising for Lego. I don't know to who because everybody in here is already. God, this just seems like I did this backwards. No, not backwards. Just okay. Everybody in here is already buying Lego. It's not like you guys don't know where to get the stuff. But there are some people who don't know like about Bricklink or who don't know about Studio or who don't know what a lug is or some things like that and they join a group and they don't have any idea. So I think a lot of these could be introductions to the hobby without outright being um you know come check out the sets that Lego sent me for free, which it's not like they like you and we're just sending you a present. And that is that. So that is your Tranquil Garden. Voila. Um, it was a super fun set. You know what, Kodiak, and that's exactly why a lot of people don't get into the habit of doing videos because they don't want to like be pigeonholed into something like that. What you're doing is great. You're doing random videos on stuff. You're doing short things. You're doing really long things. It's you playing video games. It's you with designing Lego stuff. I mean, it's all over the place. Yeah, and we can have this discussion all day about like who Lego is advertising for when they're talking about lugs or when they're talking about fan media and what eyeballs get what clicks get what monies, but in the end of the day, adults like me and Johnny and James and Kodiak and whoever else we drop more money than the average child, but so much of this is geared towards children because if you get them when they're little, they'll appreciate it more and more as you grow older, and you want that as a lifelong kind of investment. Um, but you also want to encourage them to build things and be smart and be open to new ideas and things, and kind of closing things off to uh, watch me unbox this and open it is just that's instant gratification, and that's nothing, but going out into the community and getting people involved in STEM and getting people involved in um, some community effort things, I think pays more dividends in the long run than just having 30 million subscribers or whatever. But and I was telling this to Justin, I'm like, I think your channel, which is a very small channel by comparison with like a lot of YouTubers and stuff, I was like, Missy, I'm gonna build this set this weekend. Cool, enjoy. It's a lot of fun. There's some repetitive stuff like with the water and some of the leaves, but overall it was creative and it was whimsical and adorable and very charming, and I really, really, really enjoyed it. So yeah. But I was encouraging James or Justin to be like, and if you don't know Justin, I'm gonna see if I can. I think his handle is just Brady Joyner Bricks. Yeah, so Brady Joyner, BradyJoyner Bricks, all one word. Justin Brady Joyner. And he's an official RFLM, and he's out of Austin. He's a great person, but he does a lot more. He's trying to have a community about inclusion and diversity. And I think if his community on Instagram celebrated that a bit more, and I think if he did more things that were like, not just this is a thing I got and I'm building, but he does a lot of other interesting things with Lego, like the daily builds and being part of groups about DI and everything. So it really takes all kinds. I'm just I think we get a little salty about being in the little bubble that we're in. So I try not to be salty, but I'm also getting older, and the salt just starts caking on you a little bit. It's hard to shake off. But yeah, when it's all said and done, this is a very good set. I highly recommend it. I forget how much it is. It was how many pieces? 136 pieces. So it may have been right at 130 bucks. I believe it's worth it. It was for me 109. That's even better. Um, it was 4 hours to build, 3.5 hours to build, probably. Might be a little shorter for you if you aren't chatting like I am. Might be a little longer if you're a slow builder. Nothing really complicated about it. This bridge was probably the trickiest bit there was. Getting the house onto the stilts, onto the pylons here, was a little nerve wracking, but you guys saw it. It didn't take long. Um, there was no weird snot math to figure out on much of this. So it's a very pretty set. It's a very nice looking set. However you want to display it. I think most have it displayed kind of like this so you can see the house and everything, but without that, you can't see the back entrance to the house where the tea ceremony is going on. So, yeah, super great. If y'all get this, I highly recommend it. It's a lot of fun. So, again, I may be back Sunday. It really depends on if we stay the night Saturday. But if you see a post going up, just I hate to be that person on YouTube, but if you hit the notification thing, as soon as I post, if I schedule something, I think it alerts you. I haven't even tried my own thing out. But if I do end up doing something, I'll get home late at night and I'll throw something up like, yeah, we're going to do rock breaker design or something like that. So anyway, again, for all the people who come in and chat and hang out with me, I really appreciate you being here. If I don't see you on Sunday, I'm going to start doing shorts. I'm going to do TikTok and shorts. I don't think I'm going to do anything on Instagram, but I might. Wait for it. The Star Wars Advent Calendar is going to start tomorrow. So I'm going to be doing this tomorrow morning. I may have to put a few in the bank just to have. So I may do a bunch at once and then just kind of like release them. I hope you tan your leg before you start showing them off in shorts. I'm wearing shorts right now. It was 60 degrees today. That's short and hoodie weather, right? But yeah, so break out your advent calendars. 'Tis the season. And anyway, you guys have a great rest of your week. Have a good weekend, safe weekend. If you can't be safe, be quick. And I'll talk to you later.